Hi, everybody, and welcome to the $127 podcast, the only podcast where we carve pumpkins on Kate Beckinsdale's body. Oh, fuck, that's a hard pumpkin. Okay. Today...
He's stabbing so hard. Don't jiggle it. It's just desecrating the body.
Today, we're going to be talking about the state of horror films. We're going to be getting into our thoughts on horror films today. Are they scary? What scares us? Horror movies of the past and horror movies of the future. So stick around, because we're going to be talking about everything horror. If you're a fan of horror, you're going to maybe like this. You might not. So sit back and enjoy a carve a pumpkin while you're at it. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and all those other things.
Smash it.
Yeah, smash it.
Pound it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Carve it.
smash pumpkin.
That's
like your favorite band, right?
Yeah, I love the smashing.
He likes that band. I'm Jeff.
I'm Ken.
I'm Yule. Damn it. Do it.
I'm Aneken.
Nobody cares. Shut up.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
Bitch, do you think I'm scared? I'm ready. Let's go.
So I actually had a plan to pull up a list of all the movies that came out this year, and we were gonna
I can pull it up if you want me to.
Yeah, could you pull that
Yeah.
up? Like all the mainstream horror movies that came out this year.
I have a list if you boys are ready.
Sure.
Hit me.
All right. First one. Bodies.
Never heard of it.
Amdala Steinberg, Pete Davidson, and Maria Bakalova. I remember the trailer for this, but I did not watch it.
Pete Davidson, I'm instantly out.
You
Yeah.
see, you're instantly out.
Yeah,
Fuck.
instantly out.
Nobody saw this?
Nope.
Nope.
I don't care for
Okay.
Pete
No
Davidson.
interest.
You're right.
Why are we carving pumpkins on this poster?
I thought, didn't you guys have the bib? The table bib?
No, but we put it under Kate Beckinsdale. Part of the bit is we're
You
carving.
put it under the poster?
We're carving on Kate Beckinsdale.
Why?
That was the point. I don't know.
What's the point of the bib?
To not get it on the floor and the carpet.
Oh, okay. Well, then there you
Oh,
go.
but fuck the poster, I guess.
Well, yeah, I mean, what am I gonna do with this? It's a 4-foot by 6-foot poster of Underworld Blood Wars.
Now it's Pumpkin Wars.
Okay, so Halloween Kills, Barbarian, and Smile. That's what came out this year.
Barbarians fucking suck.
No. You got Firestarter. I didn't know Zac Efron was in that. Did anybody watch that? I wanted to see it.
Cool. I think
This one
Dominic
with
went
the
and saw it.
superhero kid and like sets shit on fire.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I saw a single horror movie this year.
Really? I saw Fall this year. Did you guys know about that movie?
Is that the one where those chicks are stuck on a skyscraper?
Yeah, that's the one where they get stuck on like a antenna. It wasn't good, but it wasn't bad either. Like the premise was very weird. Like the whole thing is like the whole typical horror movie. What the fuck are you doing? This is so fucking stupid. And like it's not really that scary, but at the same time, like it's a good thriller, I think. But the ending is so dumb. Like I just
Did they fall?
well, I can't. I don't want to spoil it, but the title is very accurate. I'll just say that.
Oh, man.
Next on the list, Halloween Ends. Anybody watch that?
Nope.
I don't need it.
No, I didn't.
I just no.
I ain't giving a
Heard really
shit.
bad things.
I've just been seeing the trailer over and over, and I'm like, this just needs to stop.
Yeah.
Oh!
Evil dies tonight.
That was a Hulu release. I kind of want to talk about it though. Hellraiser got a re-release.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah,
guys see that?
it's on Hulu already. It was released last.
Nobody
week.
watched it though.
I
Never
did
seen
not
the
watch it.
first ones.
I've never
seen
seen.
it.
Yeah, I've never seen Hellraiser at all.
I saw the first movie with Pat. I didn't care for it. It was all about sex and BDSM shit. It was weird.
That's what it looks
Yeah.
like.
Hellraiser?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Oh,
the first one is
I
about.
gotta watch it now.
Got Nope up next. I don't think you haven't seen it, right, Jeff? That's true.
Nope.
Yeah.
There we go. Ken, have you seen it?
Yes, I fucking love it. 10 out of 10.
I don't think I've seen a single person not like that movie.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen anybody say they hated it.
Yeah.
Just not. It's not their favorite, which is fair. It's a fair assessment. Scream got the remake. Did anybody watch this?
Oh, I did watch that one.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
How did you
Scream?
Scream? Yeah. I think it's like a soft reboot.
2022. There was another Scream movie.
It was
Yeah,
a
it's just titled Scream.
It was a reboot sequel.
Yeah,
In the
that's
movie
right.
they
'Cause they bring
called
back
it.
the
In the movie they called it a requel
Ew.
because that's the rules of a reboot remake. But it
A
ends
requel?
literally the same as the first one. It's two people. It was whatever. They could have done
the original
some.
cast back, right?
Yeah, they could have done some really
Yeah.
fucked up shit in the movie, but they just like missed all the marks, and it was like a. It was just a remake.
Pumpkin spaghetti.
David Grohl had a movie, Studio 666.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
I
the
heard that.
that's the Foo Fighters movie.
I didn't see it, but I wanted to. It looked goofy.
Wow, this was the year for remakes. Texas Chainsaw Massacre got one. I didn't even hear about this.
That was-
I'm saying, man.
That was a straight to
Fuck.
Netflix movie. I didn't watch that one.
Oh, that's why. Yeah. Okay, it was. Never mind. The Black Phone. I wanted to watch that one. With that.
I heard it was good. I heard a lot of
Yeah,
good things
I
about
think
it.
Alex said he liked it.
Jeff was
Smile.
Smile. I've heard mixed things about it.
You have. I haven't heard shit about it. It's been out, and I know people want to see it. But that's about the most I know.
I think that was one where we actually got a lot of comments on our React for.
Yeah, we did a reaction to the trailer for that one. It looked interesting.
Yeah.
Didn't watch it though.
And that's gonna round it out for this year so far. They have X.
What about
I think it's like
Barbarian?
eight-
Barbarian.
It's not on the list.
sucked.
I don't know why. What was so bad about it?
I've
Like,
heard
it was
it's
just
good.
Stupid.
Yeah, it was stupid. There's a lot of stupid things on purpose, but also it's just like dumb. Like it's just like even when it's self-referential and shit, like it's just not funny. It's like it knew what it was. It didn't know what it was.
Okay, so those are all the horror movies that came out this year. None of us went to go see them. Is it because we weren't interested in what we saw, or like we just didn't have the time to go see them, or like what?
I feel like if they were interesting enough, we would have made time to go watch them.
For
Really?
me personally, I just don't really watch horror movies in theaters. That's more of like a watch at home, like around the family or something. Because
Really?
I'm not like big into horror myself, so it's not something like I would go to a
Mhm.
theater and watch. I think the only horror movies I've actually ever seen in theaters, A Quiet Place. I saw the first and second one in theaters.
For me, I wanted to see the Barbarian because of the trailer. It looked awesome. Smile looked like it was kind of worth my time too. It's just like I guess going out of my way to watch them because like for me, I love seeing a movie theater. Or sorry, I love seeing a horror movie in a movie theater. But a lot of the friends that I go with to watch a film with, they don't like horror. So it's like we'll be like, oh, let's go get up and watch like fucking Sonic 2. But anything else that's like horror and it's like no, like even Nope, I went to watch by myself because it was nobody wanted to
Oh.
go see.
I saw that by myself too, so
Okay.
I guess that
Yes.
counts.
I think going to see a horror movie by yourself, like first show in the morning when those dumb teens don't go, I think that's like the best time to go.
Yeah.
I went with Dale
That's
to watch
when
Nope. It was really good.
Yeah, that's when I saw Nope too. Like it was like early in the day.
We saw Conjuring 3 for one of the podcasts.
What the hell did you just say?
Conjuring.
Conjuring.
Oh my god.
Conjuring.
Conjuring.
I'm gonna conjuring my foot up your ass. How about that?
No, but we went to go see that for a podcast in the morning, and that was a good time to watch it.
Yeah, if you're interested in seeing that podcast with the Conjuring episode, click the link down in the description below and go check it out. It's on our list. It was a fun time going to watch The Conjuring 3. And we'll talk more about the Conjuring franchise in a little bit.
Why don't you watch horror movies in theaters? Is it just like too much of an experience?
I guess I'm kind of like a pussy.
I mean, you didn't have to say all that.
Well, that and like I guess like half of the enjoyment of like watching horror stuff is like when I watch it with other people because like I like seeing their reactions to it, and it's kind of like an experience together. Whereas like if I watch it by myself, I'm just like, oh great, like no, now I'm scared and I don't have anyone to share the
Oh.
scaredness with.
I like seeing a horror movie in theaters because you get like the whole surround. I guess the whole immersion factor for me. When you watch it at home, like it's I don't know, it doesn't hit the same. I think the only movie that would probably be way more scary is The Thing. Like I don't want to see that in theaters. I feel like that would fuck with me way too much.
Okay,
And I've already seen it.
I think the opposite. I think horror movies are a lot scarier when you watch them at home
Really?
because when the movie's over, you're at home already. There's no drive home. There's no like there's no like leaving the theater. It's like when you're watching a scary movie at home and you're like, you're scared shitless. You turn off the movie and like, oh fuck, like, I'm at home still. I'm still like in the area where I experienced this terrifying movie.
That's
like
true.
what if the monster or the creature or the ghost or whatever is like in my house now? Like I remember when I watched The Grudge for the first time as a kid,
Oof.
I couldn't fucking go near any fucking closet in my house. Like I couldn't even be next to one.
Oof.
Closed or not, like it was like fucking
Didn't
death
matter.
sentence. Yeah.
I guess to that effect though, like, is there horror that you can kind of like yawn through? Because like I feel when
Like
it
a
gets
genre or specific movie?
like a genre, not so much a specific movie. You know, like I felt like Nope wasn't scary, not because it wasn't, but because of like also the premise. Like I've never found the whole
I don't think it was.
aliens thing scary. Sorry,
I don't think Nope was going for like that kind of like shit your pants horror.
Yeah, alien stuff never really got to me either.
Jeff, didn't you say The Third Kind or something was scary?
Yeah, it was scary when I was a kid, but then when I rewatched it, I just realized it was a shitty film.
Oh. Okay.
The movie sucks.
Thrillers don't count as horror, right? Like Scream and like whatever.
Yeah,
It's a slasher
more
film.
horror because you got the whole slasher aspect that's supposed to be. The
Oh,
horror
right. That's what I
element.
was thinking
Yeah.
of. Slasher. Is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
technically horror?
That
Yeah.
counts.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I would say that's like horror that I can sleep through.
Think about your favorite horror films that you've ever watched. Like what part specifically scared you? What is it that's missing from horror films today? Because I feel like horror films today aren't scary. Okay, for example, like when Psycho came out in 1960 whatever. That freaked a lot of people out. In today's world it's not scary because, we got all kinds of crazy movies that are much crazier than that.
Literally, yeah, I was gonna say way worse than that.
If we talk about Alien, when that came out, they cut out the chest burster scene because that was way too crazy.
Wait, the original cut doesn't have that?
No, the original cut does, but movie theaters were going into the actual 35 millimeter prints and cutting out that scene.
Wow, that's crazy. I never knew that.
Because people were fainting and throwing up and stuff like that, so it was like, it became like a health hazard, I guess. So
Yeah.
they just cut it out.
Holy shit.
The same thing with The Exorcist, when that came out. That was, for the longest time, everybody knew The Exorcist. When we were kids, it's like The Exorcist is the scariest movie of all time. I feel like movies today can't get to a level like that. I feel like The Conjuring was close to revitalizing what horror could be in today's age, in terms of like what scary is. But I feel like that type of genre kind of fell to the wayside once they started doing La Llorona and The Nun and all that shit. And now nobody cares about that. And I know elevated horror with A24 and all that shit, they're trying to do wacky indie type shit. But I don't think that horror movies today can hit to the point where people are literally coming out of the theaters and they're saying that's the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I think that horror movies can get to that point. I just think that there's no one right now who's getting funded who can bring that to film and make that a possibility. Because I think the problem with horror films, and what's been the problem, is creating like a proper atmosphere.
Yeah, and see, so this is my question, I guess, is that like, you say that like it'll be hard to get that next chest burster scene or Psycho or even like The Birds had people fucked up for a while. And I feel like back then it was so hard to get that kind of content. You know what I mean? Like, seeing an alien burst through somebody's chest would like actually like physically upset somebody. And like nowadays, I mean, like you can go to your heart's content and get that shit like anywhere on the internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like
So
that's why it's like people are used to it. So what's gonna be the next thing that people aren't expecting that people will?
Yeah, and I feel like the only way to do that is to kind of like step into break that fourth wall, but not in a cheesy way, but like say like you have, this is purely stepping to the hypothetical now, but say you have like some kind of movie where it deals with like cell phones and you get like a certain text message, right? And then like that text shows up on somebody's phone like after the credits roll. Like I feel like you'd have to kind of step out of the bounds of like
a 3D movie, but it's 5D instead.
Yeah, exactly. So like you become a part of like the film. It's all an act.
Yeah, so
of course,
it's an experience rather than just a viewing.
Yeah, right. And I feel like I don't know. I hate to say it, but I feel like that's the only step you can go at this point, because until you make it like personal, I don't think anybody's really gonna like be scared of anything anymore, unless they that's just not their jam. Like you take Dom to go see Halloween, I'm sure he's gonna be scared, but he doesn't watch horror. So
it's a pretty scary movie. The original Poltergeist.
Yo, you know what? Yes, and I remember watching that movie because my parents, I think I was like 10, maybe. I was either 10 or 9. And my parents were like, oh man, this is like such an old, silly movie. Dude, I was scared fucking shitless with that film.
Yeah, when
this
he
is
like
nightmare fuel, mom.
Yeah.
He peels off his face in that one scene, and then she's in the swimming pool with the skeletons. Like, there's a lot of fucked up stuff in that movie.
And those were actual skeletons that they used.
The one that got me though was when
they were.
the dragging scene, when it was like trying to drag her into the TV or something like that.
Yeah.
You guys remember that? That one fucked with me. I think it was a closet. One of the two.
It was
But
she goes into the TV, and then they open the closet because that's the portal.
Yeah.
That was a good one. That was directed by Tobe Hooper, who also did the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, produced by Steven Spielberg, and also kind of shadow directed by Steven Spielberg. And
I thought it was his direction.
It kind of was, but he says that he had no hand in it because he was directing E.T. at the time, and the studio wouldn't let him direct 2 movies at once. So he went on to E.T. and, like I said, shadow directed Poltergeist. But Tobe Hooper put his name on it. That's what the story is. Yeah, it's regarded as like the most child appropriate horror movie because your kids can watch it. But it's like, fuck, dude, like there's some fucked up shit in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you ever put your children through that? Okay, I want to ask everyone this though. It's actually kind of a segment. What are your guys' favorite like all-time horror movies? Like, okay, the scariest horror movies you guys have ever seen, and like why they are so scary to you personally.
I already have my answer.
All right, you'll kick it out.
I do too.
The Thing. When you guys introduced me to that, like,
damn,
I didn't know what I was getting into, and like it's funny because I just got there saying like alien shit doesn't scare me, but my fucking god, dude! Every twist, every turn, every time the Thing became like more of the Thing, it was like, what the fuck else can these guys come up with? Like, it's just horrifying. Like for me, I remember jumping out of my seat. I remember screaming. Like I don't do that. Like when I was a kid, yeah. Like watching Poltergeist, I was like on the top of my couch and like still like horrified, but I wasn't like jumping. I wasn't like physically reacting with the movie.
Yeah. You know what's funny is that your brother, and Marco, all three, you guys jumped at the same exact time, the same scene.
The table scene.
Because we all watched it at my house.
Yeah,
it was the blood testing scene.
Oh fuck, you're right. Yeah.
That was such a great experience because we watched that on Laserdisc. I brought the Laserdisc player. I brought my copy.
Oh, I remember that.
And we watched that at your party. And it was the second time I was watching it. And I just loved watching you guys go through the experience of watching that movie and just jumping and going, like, freaking the fuck out. Yeah. And I think that was, like, my favorite experience watching a horror film. I think was just being there with you guys. And that's
what I'm saying.
One of my
watching
favorite
horror movies with people it's a great experience.
Yeah.
No, the reason I say that movie is because it actually had me fucked up too. That's the thing. Like, okay, you see like Poltergeist, or like you said with The Grudge, it's like, okay, I'm gonna stay away from closets. Dude, I was irrationally like scarred. So like the fucking scene where the guy gets decapitated, right? And then like the head just lays there and then goes
Oh.
and becomes a spider and like crawls off. The guy's like, fuck that shit. Dude, I could not stop looking at shadows and just thinking about that fucking thing. I'm not even afraid of spiders. It was just like, I don't know what it was. That just fucked with me for like a week solid. It's still like my favorite movie because like it's a great movie, great story. The tension is held all the way up till the end. Like right when the credits roll, you're still like, okay, so who really was it? And like it was such a great experience. Even watching it with you guys made it like that much more top tier. But I think if I had just even watched it myself, I'd still say that's like my hands down favorite horror movie of all time. Like it's just, I don't know why, but it really fucked with me. I think it was the props, because
Yeah, the props definitely
God, it
added
looks
like
so
a
real.
layer of visceral, like
Yeah.
just real grittiness.
Yeah. Like CGI could not have touched that. It just looked
yeah.
way too
And
palpable.
in the
Something you reach out
Thing,
and touch.
the Thing remake prequel that came out in 2011, all the Thing effects were CGI, and you are absolutely
Yeah.
right. That shit sucked.
Oh man, what was yours, Anakin?
Mine is Ju-on 2, The Grudge. Both the first American version and then the Japanese version. Both those movies, like, they just remain with me to this day, all these years later, because just so fucking terrifying. A part of like what I think a lot of horror movies these days, like, kind of just they miss the mark is like, the subtlety and like jump scares, I guess. Cause I feel like a lot of jump scares these days, they don't work for me personally. Um because they rely too much on like the sound, There's usually like either the music that's leading up to the moment. It makes the moment totally obvious, like you can see the moment coming.
Yeah.
You can kind of brace yourself, or like there's like this really bombastic like screeching or violent or instrumental like manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I still remember the moments in Ju-on 2 where there would be like some crazy scary reveal, and it wouldn't rely on like the sound to scare you. It would rely on the visuals, the medium of like film itself. Like you just be like, oh shit, like you see something and you're like just like, holy shit, like this is fucking terrifying, and like there's no sound to like carry the scene through. It's just like you just kind of have to sit there and like
Take it.
and like suck it up.
Yeah. I'm gonna bounce off you, Anakin, for mine. But first, I want to do the pumpkin reveal. I want to do the face reveal.
Oh, with the knife.
Just
That's
went classical. I love it.
Ugh.
I like the knife. That's a good touch.
There's mine.
There's mine.
we rating these?
If you want to, I
Yeah.
wasn't planning on it,
Yeah.
but sure, why not?
Okay, we're rating them.
Let's do it.
I like Jeff's. It's classical.
Yeah.
The lines are clean.
Yeah.
And it's got the added bonus with the knife.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give it an 8. But I like Ken's a little bit more. I'll give it a 9 because
Wow.
Ken has some like pulp still hanging in the inside, and it kind of, for the eyes it looks like veins. For the mouth it just looks like he got shit stuck in his teeth. But it adds character,
I got to differ with you here. I love Ken's for the what's the name? Ingenuity of the 3D tongue, but it fell out. I thought that was all one piece, so that kind of ruined my immersion.
How would
a
it be
little bit there,
one piece?
dude? I don't fucking know. I don't carve pumpkins. I'm like, damn, how did he do that? I gotta give it a 7.25.
Oh my
It was
god!
like it was a solid 8, but it fell down. It fell out. I'm like, it's
dude,
0.75.
thank God Dom isn't here. He would be dying at that score you
That
just gave.
said, though, Jeff's, it's classic. It's clean. The edges on the smile kind of gives it a Joker aesthetic.
Literally stealing my words.
That's not what you said. Did you say Joker aesthetic?
No, I said classic and clean lines.
No, for that though, I think Jeff Edge is out here with a nice 8.25. Give him the quarter.
My God, you with the fucking 2.5.
Yeah, dude, because of the knife. It's a great touch.
Okay.
What we got?
Wow. Do you guys want to know the scores?
Sure, yeah.
Sure,
8.125 for both.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you do that on purpose? Fucking math wizard.
Amazing.
That's so funny.
That is
They're
great.
tied.
That is great. My favorite horror film is The Blair Witch Project. Not a lot of people's favorite movie. A lot of people think it's hokey. But I really like it. And Aneken, when you were talking about how there's no music in that film to kind of aid the jump scares, it's the same thing with The Blair Witch Project, because it's supposed to be like a real found footage film. There's no music. There's no crazy ambiance noises that aid the jump scares. It's just purely what's put on the screen. And these people in the movie, they were literally given a map, said, hey, go to these GPS locations, react to whatever's there. So, like, there are parts of the movie, like, where she's running at the end of the movie, and she turns the camera, she goes, oh my God, what the fuck is that? There was a guy standing out there in, like, a crazy costume. And you can't see that on the camera because it wasn't picked up, like he was standing too far away. There's so much going on, and they never tell you what it is. And at the beginning of the movie, they go and they talk to all these different people in the town. And they're like, oh, well, what'd you see at the Blair Witch? Oh, the Blair Witch is this big hairy woman, like she does this. Oh, it's this guy who kidnaps kids. Oh, it's this witch who did this. And it's like everybody tells a different story, but as they're going along throughout the movie, different parts of everybody's story happens. So you don't know whether it's this thing, whether it's this thing, whether it's this thing, which is the real story, or whether it's all of them, or if it's the people who are the kids themselves that are going crazy and they're just manifesting this stuff in their heads, you know? So, like, to me, every time I watch it, I find something new that connects a little bit more. And it's just, like, the overall, like, of the unknown. It's, like, that's what's scary to me. Plus, there's a really cool Scooby-Doo, like, movie that pairs with it, where, like, the Scooby-Doo people are in the Blair Witch Project, and they're going to find the Blair Witch.
Shaggy, what are you doing in the corner?
I'm scared, man! Like scared!
Yeah, I think POV movies in general, they're very entertaining. Even if they're not good sometimes, like they're just fun to me. Like I'll always not have a problem. Like I know a lot of people have issues with like motion sickness, but it's just such a novel concept to me that it's fun. I like it.
And I feel like, you know, you go watch a shitty horror film and you're disappointed afterwards. Like you said, you were really disappointed with Barbarian.
Yes.
Now imagine if Barbarian was a POV film. I think we would come out a little less disappointed, I guess. Because I've seen a lot of shittier... There have been a lot of movies that I've gone into that I've come out upset with. And I have never come out upset with one of those POV horror films. Even though there's tons of them that are just complete fucking utter garbage, it's like, hey, I still had a good time watching this. I don't know what happened, but I still had fun.
The Shining is probably my favorite horror movie.
Kubrick.
Nice.
I really like the ambiguity of it. I think that's what creeps me out in real life too, is the ambiguity of things. I'm not really like fearful of like people or like situations or anything like that, but I am fearful of like unknown things or things that like I just don't understand that are also out of my control, you know? So
Yeah.
a lot of The Shining has a mix of things that I don't like in terms of ghosts, like Indian burial ground stuff, and then there's like isolation and stuff, and I feel like a lot of the horror aspect for me from The Shining definitely has to do with him not knowing if it's him going crazy or if it's actually the hotel that's haunted, you know? And then just how it all surmises and builds up, and how he relentlessly is like, you know, chasing his family to kill them, and then he kills Scatman Carruthers by like fucking putting an axe through his chest. That like really shocked me when I first watched it, because like it's just such a violent scene, you know, even though I've like grown up like watching, you know, videos on the internet and shit. It's still like, you know, harsh to see. So it's just I don't know, it's a really really good movie. Classic Stanley Kubrick movie.
You know what's actually a really good horror movie that captures like the concept of like spirits and stuff, and
Mm.
is also really fucking terrifying is The Wailing. It's a South Korean film.
Oh, I've heard
Yeah, I've heard of it.
I forgot the director's name. I think he did Old Boy. Yeah, so he's very good.
Definitely watch that. Okay.
He's done some shit.
Is that Park
some
Chan
notable
Wook,
shit.
right?
I think so, yeah. And yeah, I remember there's a scene in that movie where they hire a shaman to help them because like their daughter's like, you know, there's clearly possessed by a demon or a spirit or something. Some bad voodoo shit.
Yeah.
And it's like the shot. So I've actually been in a real like shaman ritual before, because one of my cousins, when she was like in high school, like way back when I was a kid,
Mhm.
she had a possession. I don't remember how long it lasted, but I know it was for a good period of her life, like I want to say months, where she was possessed. And so it finally like led up to like, you know, us having a priest come over, and like she had an exorcism. And I still remember it to this day, because like the shaman, he wears like this dark cloth over his head so you can't see his face, and like he's dancing, and he's like, you know, shaking his instruments or his weapons or whatever. And as her family and as a man, like our part in the rituals, like, you know, we have to like, you know, receive the blessings from the shaman, and then like, you know, bow and do our stuff. That's as part of the ritual.
Mhm.
And I remember in the movie The Wailing, they do something very similar. So
Oh.
I'm assuming like Korean culture, they have a similar shamanistic ritual or tradition or something.
Yeah.
Because when I saw that scene, I was instantly taken back to when I had to do a shaman ritual like that. And I was like, holy shit! It just adds to the fucking authenticity of this thing.
Hmm. You know, it's funny. I want to bounce off of that. Is there like that line in horror that kind of steps over for you? Like that, I feel like is really personal to the point to where like it makes something more horrifying.
Right, right.
But like, you ever feel like there's like too far in a movie that horror can go for you personally? I guess it's like for me, like even though it wasn't scary, Nope, like that peril of like the siblings, like I kept putting my brother in that movie for Daniel Kaluuya's part, and like every time he was like in trouble, it's like fuck, fuck. Like it was just, it never crossed the line to where like I can't watch it anymore. But I think
Right.
like that's for me where like when you
You're
fuck
like
with that,
seeing,
it's
yeah,
you
you're
go
putting your loved ones in that situation and just
yeah,
kind of like seeing it through their lens.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't
I know
think
yours.
in like a paranormal sense a movie has captured the fear that I had as a kid with
Mm.
like some of the stuff that happened to me in Boy Scouts up in Ojai, you know, with
Yeah,
all that demon shit, which we won't get into today.
unfortunately.
In terms of like a realistic sense, the movie Prisoners freaked me the fuck out.
Ooh,
When I first
that's a good
when
one.
I first saw that movie, it was when it came out. I sat in the theater for like an extra like 15 minutes after the credits were done, and I just kind of like had to sit there and take it all in. And like it scared me then, as like thinking about, you know, in the future when I become a parent, like that fear of something like that happening. And I feel
Yeah.
like now that sort of thing scares me even more. reality, like, I don't have to worry about myself anymore. I have to worry about this small child. And, like,
Yeah.
something like that scares the shit out of me. So I feel like that movie really created a realistic fear in me.
In terms of like a realistic sense, probably anything that has to do with like murderers. Not that I don't think like I couldn't try and fight my way out of it, but it's just like very scary to me, like how there are people who exist who do this, who don't have a care or something wrong with them where they don't care, you know, and they just kind of kill and just do that, you know. Like Memories of Murder was pretty good. That was pretty like scary for me.
Yeah, because you don't know who it is.
Yeah, you don't know who it is, but it's just like there's all these like, you know, terrible murders and rapes going on, and it's just like holy shit, you know. And like I think that what added to that too, I don't know, what really adds to me when it goes to the murderer thing is when like the community finally like starts, they have to like go out with each other like at night with flashlights and stuff, you know, like you would see scenes in those movies of like lines of people like going out at night because like they couldn't be alone because of all these murders going on, and like that's real, you know, like that's not fake, you know, like they did that shit, you know. And if you've seen the movie or not the movie, sorry, the Netflix series Mindhunters too, they do that as well, with the killer who's going around killing all the kids in the South. So it's just like very creepy, you know, that like there are people who are like that in real life, and maybe they might not, at least in my opinion, pose a threat to me. They still pose a threat to people and can still do terrible things to people, and that scares me, you know.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap up this episode of 127 Podcast. This was the Halloween special, so we hope you thought it was special. We carved pumpkins. There they are. Mm-hmm. We hung out with Monty. Here he is. To close us out, we have a special announcement.
We do?
So buckle your seatbelts, motherfuckers. We did a trailer react on VHS 99, the new film that's coming to Shudder later this month. Nice. And in that video, we talked about the possibility of us creating a movie that is very similar to it. And we said by 3 likes on the video, we would create a movie called VHS 127. Will you guys, as the YouTubers say, bash that like button, you know, as they say. You guys hit the like goal. I think there were like 8 likes on it, so you guys would be happy to know that at this point, while recording this, I have 3 of 4 short stories completely written, and by the time the video comes out, the 4th one will be written, and we're going to start shooting in December, and hopefully it'll be out by February, maybe. So we're gonna get that done. So look forward to VHS 127 coming to YouTube on this channel very soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell notification so you get notified of more videos, because we post these podcasts monthly.
Have a happy Halloween.
Have a happy Halloween.
Eat a bunch of candy. Don't get knives in your candy. Check your candy.
Yeah, check your candy for fentanyl.
Yeah, make sure there's no fentanyl.
Yeah.
In your smart
shit, we forgot to dress up. We were going to dress up.
I'm Steve Jobs.
He's Steve Jobs.
I totally forgot.
And I'm a film bro. Yule, what's your excuse?
I have this is authentic purple from the Scooby-Doo movie. This is Daphne Purple.
He's the new Shaggy.
He's the new Shaggy.
Fuck you guys.
Hey, give us a zoinks. Give us a zoinks.
What? Give you a zoinks? Yeah, I got you zoinks right here.
And oh yeah, most importantly, don't forget to comment down below how many times you guys counted the little girl running in the background of Yule's background.
I fucking hate you so much.
I counted 4.
Really? You did?
Yeah.
I counted none.